The link is nearly as old as the Brooklyn Bridge itself. What began in neighboring boroughs more than a decade before New York subway tracks were laid has spanned the north-south divide of our most populous state for over 60 years.
Giants and Dodgers had the greatest rivalry in baseball. You could lose 20 straight, but don't lose to the Dodgers. Don't lose to the Giants.
The story of the Giants and Dodgers is unique within our national pastime and America itself. Across more than 2,500 meetings.
Well, this is a true Dodger-Giant rivalry.
From Ebbets Field and the Polo Grounds to Dodger Stadium and Oracle Park.
Look out. And here we go again for the second day in a row. The bench is clear in San Francisco.
No other rivalry in any sport can claim as many enduring icons or memorable moments on two coasts.
Money, that's all I ever hear in this house.
There seems to be a need for sports talk in the Bay Area.
Finley today is 1 for 4. Franklin set, Wayne ready, and Deal swung on. High fly ball to deep right field. Wherever it goes, the Dodgers have won, and it's a grand slam home run.
Hi, I'm Bob Brenly, and I hate the Dodgers.
I'm Jake Lucas. I'm with Dave Greenstein and Joe Starkey.
Jake, I'm going to interrupt you real quick. What the hell is our podcast called? Muncy hits this ball to deep right field. Forget about it. Muncy with a splash hit.
Now, Gagne ready. He pitches.
Swing, there's a shot into deep right center field. It's on its way. It is gone. And Barry Bonds has launched one. The Giants are on the board.
So we're called Hum Daddies because we're Giants fans that have kids. So we're not babies, we have babies. Hum Daddies, get it? All right. Hey, welcome everybody to Hum Daddies.
And the ball game is over.
The Giants beat the Dodgers somehow, some way.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Hum Daddies. My name is Jake Lucas. As always, I'm here with Dave Greenstein, producer extraordinaire, and the smarts of the group, the guy who knows the stats, stat boy himself, stat man, the newly crowned Cubs fan, Joseph Starkey. Round of applause.
How's the Windy City, Joe? How's the Windy City?
It's beautiful out here in Chicago. No, I'm in Oakland, baby.
Yeah. Oakland Joe repping the Cubs. So we are back for you guys. We just had a pretty epic week for the Giants on the backs of our last podcast where we talked about the 90s Giants and had a 90s Giants draft. We hit it hard on Instagram. Hopefully a lot of you new fans are listening. A lot of you Gigantes, diehards, Hum babies. And now you're here with the Hum Daddies. So today we might hit on the finals for 1 second, the Niners for 2 seconds, the Warriors for no seconds. We're going to be mostly Giants here, guys. Let's talk about the Gigantes. But first, everybody, what are you wearing? And what are you imbibing with? Start with Dave Greenstein. Go.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and pop open this bottle of delicious Reposado Espadin from Oaxaca.
Long week for W's.
I will see you guys with a little, you can see the little worm there at the bottom, keeping it real fresh.
Boy.
Cheers, gentlemen. Adios.
Cheers.
All right, so I guess it's me and Joe Seppi for the podcast tonight. What are you wearing, Dave?
I got on my huff tonight.
Again?
I wanted to wear my white Giants. I felt at home today.
Because of what's going on with the president and his immigration policies?
Yeah. The whole world's turning inside out and upside down, and I'm going to wear the worst giant politically. Wear the big white giant.
Huff Daddy.
The Huff Daddy.
All right.
But for now, you can just see the giants on the front chest. That's what you need to know.
No, it's clean.
Josie.
It looks nice. Looks good. Joe.
Yeah, well, per last week, I crowned the Cubs as my new team. So I got to wear the flag, and then I had to pair it with my anti-Fisher Baseball Club t-shirt just to let people know that I'm still spurned by those horrible, awful people in Sacramento. Terrible.
All the entire population?
Or just West Sac?
Just one man who probably lives in like Seacliff, Pack Heights area named John Fisher.
Right. Okay. And are you drinking anything?
Oh, that would be an espresso martini. I thought we'd get fancy on a Thursday night here, guys.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, boy.
It's a little Starbucks merger with Tito's or something.
Frankly, I found this old can of espresso martini mix. And I just popped it on some ice. Thought we had to, get ready for some action tonight.
Quick shake and go.
Well, okay. I guess it's my turn. And
yeah, Jake, what are you drinking?
Keeping up with my recent trend, I'm going to disappoint you two alcoholics and have an Athletic Brewing Belgian Stout White.
Very nice.
Nice.
They make them nice and non-alcoholic for me, so I'm going to indulge in one of these bad boys. And I'm wearing my lucky Giants hat, the 2021 City Connects. I've worn it like for over a week straight, and it was working every night until today.
Did you wear it today?
I did, but you know what? I gave it to Jordy at the end of the game because I thought it was a wrap. I should have kept it on the old top.
Mixed too much orange together.
Won't be doing that again.
No, so it's got to stay on me until game's end. I was trying to get too cute and cocky, so I give it to my son. And
Jake, you never get cocky when they're in Colorado. No matter how good you feel.
I know that.
It's wild. You can't kind of believe it, but it happens so often.
He's the Giants' best reliever. He's like an all-star reliever.
He's an all-star reliever.
He started walking everybody, giving up seeing eye, hits. Oh, and Casey Schmidt with a brutal error.
I mean, Doval snuck out of it last night because he got that double play ball.
Right.
That being said, who else got a double play ball today?
Randy Rodriguez.
And who blew it? Schmidt.
Although Schmidt's usually a pretty sure-handed third baseman, man.
I mean, you just can't blow it right then.
No, that's a crucial error. Would have been the end of the game.
Won't be forgetting that one. Yeah, 1 out. Was it 2 on?
Yeah, it was first and second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loaded the bases. Yeah, that was. I mean, Colorado still had to do some work, but that could have been the game.
I'll say that the Giants had a few weird defensive flubs in Colorado, and the Giants need to be pretty perfect at defense because pitching is what they rely on. So I hope they shore it up because they've been so good for so long at keeping the errors down, but lately they seem a little dicey.
Well, we can get into this later, fellas, but
okay,
your 2 best defenders are on the DL now. That's a problem.
Well, like I said, I have confidence in Schmidt. In Casey at the bat, I don't think you lack. There's not much lacking in defense, honestly. Today told a different story, but I think in general he's supposed to be, pretty solid with the glove. And I've seen him play a lot of third and second. He's always impressed me. I just kind of choked today.
Yeah, I don't think Casey's a poor defender, but Matt is one of the best there is. So it's hard to, keep up with that.
That's true. Pat Bailey might be a different story. I mean, a lot of these pitching, the relief problems the last couple of days might have been because he didn't have Pat Bailey calling balls, pitches behind the plate.
Yeah, his defensive metrics are off the chart. I don't know how you even do that, but he's like the best in baseball.
He calls a hell of a game. He has a great read for the staff. He's just very in tune with the pitchers. And today they had like a 4th string catcher in. I mean, they called up a couple of guys I've never even heard of that apparently got a quick cup of coffee in spring training and then sent back down. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on behind the plate, and it sounds like both of these injuries might last for a while. They don't want to give an official timetable on these guys yet, which is kind of scary.
So those catchers are Logan Porter and Andrew I don't know. Nick Kinsner?
I won't pretend to know. I watched a couple randos behind the plate today and yesterday, and that wasn't where my attention was going. I mean, I was focusing on the positives at the plate because a lot of guys are turning it around offensively, and Coors Field is the place to do that at. But
get a little confidence built up.
What's that?
Get a little confidence built up in Colorado so you can turn it over into your next road trip in Dodgerland.
Right. So Adames seems like he woke up offensively, and that's a thing. Apparently his second halves are always much better than his first half. His OPS is, I think, over 80 points better during his entire career in the second half. As opposed
if he's not better in the second half, we got big problems.
True. Absolutely.
I think you gotta be we gotta be okay with this 2 out of 3 overall. I mean, it'd be nice to sweep the worst team in baseball history, and I think you're close to doing it. But if you think back to was it Tuesday on that infield single that Wilmer got, I mean, Giants we had no business winning that game. So letting this one squeak away almost seems kind of even up. And time to turn the page, go down to Los Angeles, Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to agree with you on that, Joe. Logically, I mean, that makes sense, but you got to get greedy when you're playing, such a bad team. You're on the road.
And when you're an underperforming offense, this is the kind of a season where the Giants thrive, and we always are on the other side of that kind of win-loss that's decided by a couple bad balls going one way or the other. And I think this season is one of those where you just expect, if we're going to get the playoffs, we always have to win those games. We can't give up many, and especially to the worst team in baseball. If we were playing on the road in, let's say, Philadelphia, and we gave up a 2-run lead, I would be like, well, every once in a while you get beat by a better team, but not the worst team in baseball.
But yeah, I mean, they won 7 in a row before that, including 6 1-run games?
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good.
We're talking to greedy Giants fans over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Dom Smith is hitting upper deck 3-run jacks, you got to get that game, man. You got to win it.
It felt like a win at that point, yeah.
But what are you going to do? Adames came alive. Casey Schmidt actually had some really good ABs. That's promising. Yaz is looking really good again. He had a long dry spell. So there's a lot of positives, a lot of pluses during this Rocky series.
Hey, Jake, how about Dad World? How's it going over there? I heard there was a nice first birthday party this last weekend. You want to give the highlights?
Yeah, that was a rough transition, but sure. Yeah, I had 1-year-old Jordy had a birthday, and my 2 compadres over here, Cubs fan Joe Starkey and tequila drinker Dave Greenstein, rolled through.
It's mezcal. It's mezcal.
Yeah, mezcal.
Chat GYP.
Yeah, Chat GYP. I don't think he's too fond of that nickname, but yeah, it was a good time.
I think it's pretty creative. You can keep using it.
Very creative. Mila was there, my daughter. These guys brought their children. It was at Cedar Rose Park in Berkeley, right next to my house. A good time was had by all. The pizza got fucking smashed real quick.
I did my part.
Danny Orsini showed up, had about 4 slices and bounced right after, right as the clock.
Did he have a washer dryer that needed to be installed?
Apparently. I think he just wanted some pizza to get out of there. Yeah, he probably had some Coors Lights calling his name at home. And yeah, we had Hum Daddy Pete, the Esquire of the group, showed up early and then went to take his kid down for a nap. It was good seeing him and his wife, El Boogie.
Can you talk about the best gift that Jordy got all weekend?
The Kanye thing?
Oh, yeah.
I guess let's not bury the lead. Yeah, my buddy BJ showed up with this amazing piece of artwork. It was a portrait of Kanye West, everyone's favorite rapper right now.
Joe, there was about this birthday party happened, as birthday parties go, you sing happy birthday and about 75% of people say, oh, I can go now. I'm allowed because I stayed for the most important part. So a lot of people left. There was only a few kind of stragglers hanging out. Suzanne and I were still there. Yeah. And that's when, I mean, this guy looks like a New Jersey, like beachcomber. I mean, he comes out with the big sunglasses. He's just very
He's Jersey Shore, baby, through and through.
Very fuckboy-esque.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Absolutely.
He's a cool guy. He seemed really nice. Said hello to
He's
everybody.
great.
Super pleasant. But it was just, and he comes in and just holding up this giant
Kanye thing.
Kanye.
Yeah. And
Beautiful.
Wait, I don't understand. What is it?
it's a big, giant painting of Kanye West. It's like a portrait.
With
For
him,
Jordan?
like, sad. He's like sad, and he's holding what looks like a heart, like a balloon that's like a heart. Or
Yeah, it's from 808s and Heartbreaks, the album back in 08. And this was a painting BJ had on his wall, but he moved and said he would give it to me because his wife doesn't want it in their house. I don't think.
and he doesn't have a man den yet.
Yeah,
Happy birthday, Jordy.
either, but I'm taking it. So there you go.
Yeah, my daughter took a spill right about that point. It's late for her nap and cried all the way to the car. Missed
I saw that
the
happen.
Kanye painting.
That was like a chin, like a head first dive, wasn't it?
Yeah, she took it pretty good.
Nice.
She was fired up about some Band-Aids though, so it was all good.
Yeah, that's Mila's favorite thing is either getting actually kind of scraped up or pretending to so she can get a frozen Band-Aid or a Mickey Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Enjoys it.
I very much enjoyed the first birthday party of young Jordy. Though I will say I was a little inappropriately distracted by maybe the best tennis match of all time, the French Open. Alcaraz and Sinner went 5 sets, and I might have watched some of the last couple games on my phone from the playground.
Joe was doing the equivalent of at a like very important dinner with family, and he had the phone underneath the the dinner cloth or the tablecloth, kind of just checking, watching, not paying too much attention.
And Alex
It
Tapp
was incredible, Dave. You were listening on the radio on your
I
way down
was.
from Napa. Tell the people what happened.
I wasn't just Suzanne drove because I was watching that matchup, and it was incredible. I mean, Sinner was up 2 sets, had him locked in to maybe pull it off in I think 3 or was it the 3rd set or the 4th set where it got real close?
Well, he almost put away in the 3rd set.
In the third
Sinner
set,
did,
right.
and then he had triple match point.
Yeah, triple match point. But then extends it, and Alcaraz just keeps finding a way. And I only watched the 5th set, and I hadn't watched tennis in a little while.
And then in
I
the 5th
forgot,
set, Sinner
how
comes
incredible
back,
it was.
and he almost takes it, but then Alcaraz blows him away in the 3rd tiebreaker in the final set. It was
roller coaster.
maybe
ride.
the best tennis match of all time there at Jordy's birthday. I'll never forget it.
And it
That's
wasn't
funny.
like guys were making mistakes. Guys were just fucking there, just running down every ball. I can't believe the energy these guys have. But I'm also not 23 years old anymore.
right after that tennis match was the UEFA Nations League, and it was Spain versus Portugal. And I didn't realize that was happening. The game started at noon, and I was very tuned into the games previously because I'm a big CR7 guy, as well as Spain. So Portugal and Spain are my 2 squads.
Cristiano Ronaldo for the rest of us.
That's right. And that ended up going long, and there was extra time, and it went to PKs, and CR7 got another trophy in his trophy case. So that was a nice outcome. Saw that at the very end of the birthday party on my phone as well. So there's a lot of sports going on that day. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I don't have
We were very present.
I don't have a lot to report on the daddy side, except that Adrian has come into this new world of understanding that doors are very exciting and opening and closing them and pulling people in and pushing them out. So I've been playing a lot of open and closed door this week. And
Yeah.
Why are they so obsessed with it? I think it's this fun little experience of I control the world and you're just in it.
Mila still does that, and she's almost 3. So yeah, that's going to last.
Yeah, every door has a new standard as well. Some are harder to open and close, and so she makes some pretty strong demands.
Yeah. I love it. That's a fun phase. Jordy's starting to he's not quite walking, but he'll, crawl next to a door and sit up and stand on it and, close it and then take a spill and get back up and open it and blah, blah, blah. He's in the doors as well.
Yeah.
It's kids. Also, I took Mila to the Wiggles concert, which was, I might have enjoyed it more than anyone because I'm a big Wiggles guy. Their catalog is to die for. I mean, these guys, they played the hits. It was a special experience. We got to see where it was at the Paramount Theater in Oakland. Just a beautiful array of wonderful children and parents alike who fucking rock out to the Wiggles. So this is for you, Wiggle Nation. I had to throw you in there. It was a good time.
Stay wiggly, Wiggle Nation.
Stay wiggly. Okay. What to...
Good luck transitioning out of the Wiggles.
Yeah,
Jim.
yeah. I don't know how to get out of that one, dude.
Well...
Who's wiggly? Halliburton's wiggly. Let's talk about the NBA Finals.
Yeah, he's very wiggly. I mean, something was going on the last game. I was watching the Giants over that, so I don't really have much to say.
Well, let's stick with the Giants. So they're one back, one out of first, and the Padres are one behind them. And we got the big series this weekend. So
First series somehow all year against the Dodgers, which doesn't make any sense, but that's new.
It's because they just cut down from 18 to 12, so there's just less games. So you don't get those early 6 which is kind of weird. I like them when they play in May at least.
Last year we exhausted the Dodgers games, and we didn't have any after July, I believe.
Which is also stupid
strange.
to not have any at the beginning and the end.
I guess.
I kind of think you're catching them at an okay time. They got a lot of people on the DL. They're saving for the second half of the season, thinking they're gonna just walk right into the World Series. I think they got 16 people on the DL or something like that. Maybe you can catch a couple.
Still probably 10 Hall of Famers healthy for them, as they're constructed as one of the greatest rosters of all time. But they're underperforming, and maybe we caught them at a good time. You're right. And we're overperforming.
I mean, it'd be nice to have Chappie and Bailey there, but
Yeah, like I said, Bailey's going to be the big one. Let's see how these backup catchers handle the staff, because there seems to be a marked change in production from the pitching when he's not in there.
How do you think Melvin handled the staff out in Colorado? I feel like that is just like an impossible task to keep your pitching kind of liquid for a big series over the weekend. I feel like he kind of kept some guys in there for some lengthy period of time, try to save them as best as he could, but it still feels like there's some taxation that happened.
I thought he did it pretty well today, Joe. I mean, all things considered, he pulled Jelly at the right time to bring in Miller. And Miller got a couple of clutch outs, including, that I think the last one was a K even. It was
too.
And they all were getting squeezed to some degree. But Rodriguez that's just like a freak thing. I mean, the guy has been unstoppable. You expect 2 runs for him and so you're not going to pull him.
And you're not going to put that on Melvin.
Doval was similar last night. He just got lucky, and Rodriguez didn't. But other than that, I mean, I think Melvin's been doing a really Bochy-esque kind of job right now with JD. What's JD's last name? Pitching coach.
Whatever.
Yeah, JD. Mark Gardner? No. But it's not easy over the long course of a season to know where to pull the strings, where to pull guys early, because oftentimes you want to run a guy out a little longer.
No.
But in Colorado, JD Martinez, yeah. But when you're in Colorado, if you can't throw strikes and you're walking guys, you got to get out of there fast, because you can't put extra people on base in Colorado. There's too many chances to get burned. So I like that when he saw guys just missing. It's like, if you're walking people, you're out of the game. If you're throwing strikes and getting hit, I'll live with it.
I spent the morning reading about how great Randy Rodriguez is. I was like, best middle reliever in baseball. Of course.
And when I texted Dave that we have the best bullpen in the league, that's when they gave up the game. So that's right.
He also said that he was on the All-Star team as soon as he came in to close out the game. So it's like all those extra things are just little bits of
jinx here, jinx there, jinx everywhere.
A little too many jinxies.
A lot of jinxies. Are you smoking a vape, Joe?
No.
Could have been a pen.
Yeah.
I sound guilty. No, I'm not smoking a vape. What are you talking about?
No, I don't think so. I'm just disappointed because there's going to be a national TV game. Dodgers and Giants are Sunday Night Baseball. And the whole narrative coming into tomorrow would have been the Giants on an 8-game heater. Yeah, and tied for first. So that narrative now going, having to backtrack and say, well, Giants were doing really well. They gave it up last night. They're 1 game out. That's not nearly as fun as the other, narrative.
And whoever wins the series, and someone's winning the series, is going to be in first place by the end of it. It just adds that kind of fun Giants-Dodgers rivalry character that I care about. So it kind of sucks to not like if we go 2-3, yeah, we're tied for first. It just doesn't leave you as satisfied if we walk out of Dodger Stadium coming back to San Francisco, first place in the division. That'd be sick.
Well, let's sweep them, motherfucker. Let's sweep their ass.
That's right.
Dodgers can go to hell from now to eternity.
Joe, you had a question.
You got Logan Webb Friday, Landon on Saturday, Kyle Harrison Sunday. Kershaw, you got a Kershaw game on Saturday. That's interesting.
We got to beat him up. That guy has lost it, and it's been a long time since he's lost it.
He's ancient, old as dust.
I mean,
don't forget we have Verlander still.
True.
That would have been fun. Verlander, Kershaw.
He might be coming back off the DL pretty soon too.
Missed opportunity. Season's not over. That would be very exciting.
I'm sure it's gonna. It might come. Well, I'm not sure, but it could come up eventually. Yeah. Well, I mean, what are we dealing with the Dodgers? Who are you scared of on that team?
There's a guy named Shohei Ohtani might win the MVP again. He's pretty good.
Fake.
Mookie Betts. Freddie Freeman.
Best days are behind him.
Guys are pretty scary, I'd say.
Whatever. But forget I asked that question. All right, what's next?
Yeah, tomorrow night will be good. Logan Webb has been pitching really well.
Webb's been lights out.
Low in a lot of games that Logan Webb has pitched, and we're facing their best pitcher right now in Yamamoto. So I would say tomorrow is like super important for the Giants to jump out and get back on that winning streak again.
And it's just going to be so fun to see them play each other for the first time this year, and if the Giants win, they can tie for first. That's fun. It's not as fun as if they could win and be, have sole possession, but it'll be a good time. Those games are rowdy. I used to go to Giants-Dodgers games in LA wearing this exact kind of stuff, and it's pretty crazy down there. You better have thick skin and be able to put up with abuse and be able to protect yourself.
I'm going to put my outsider hat on real quick. Live in the Bay Area, and I understand that the Giants fans just spend all year hating the Dodgers. It's like obsessive. And I do not quite understand the level of obsession that Giants fans have with
you mean like when we finish rooting for the Giants at the end of the season, if the Giants make the playoffs, we immediately go to every
I would say there's like the Giants winning is only like minusculely higher than the Dodgers losing it in terms of excitement.
Absolutely. The way the Dodgers have been in the playoffs every year without fail for the last, 13, 14 years, I get giddy to root against. I watch their series, like their Giants series, to root against the Dodgers. It's almost as fun as when the Giants are competitive in a playoff series. That's how much we hate the Dodgers. For me, it gets really personal because I lived in LA for so long. I went to college down there. I have friends that are like, diehard Dodgers fans. So I love seeing them lose. And it warms my heart. What's your opinion, Dave?
I mean, the same. I mentioned this earlier with Joe. It's like I see California as this kind of two state NorCal, SoCal tied together at the hip, and it's San Francisco and it's LA and it's Giants and it's Dodgers, and carry over from New York. We just kind of keep this rivalry, but split them across the West Coast, and it's Yankees, Red Sox, West, and the difference is that the Giants have never had the salaries that the Dodgers have ever given out. Yankees, Red Sox, like we're closer on the Red Sox side, but we're always kind of middle, maybe upper middle half on the salaries. So we always feel like we got a chip on our shoulder, and I think we like that chip. It's something that we enjoy. And so when we were winning World Series and we were running the show, it was awesome. And now that the Dodgers have it back, and it's only going to last, so long before it'll swing back towards us again. It's just inevitable. But, right now we're grinding and we're trying to squeak out wins and find a way to beat them. And it's more fun to beat a team with a lot of money than to have none and lose.
Yeah, as a former A's fan, the thing that I have a beef with is the Giants do have a lot of money, and they should just spend a little bit more. And so I kind of think, in a way, the Dodgers kind of putting it all out there can push the Giants to do that in coming years. I could see the Giants being like, all right, well, that's enough is enough, and they're going to land that big contract, which we've been talking about for 3-4 years, right?
Well, the difficulty for the Giants is, one, we don't have a TV deal like LA or New York, so we don't get nearly as much of that extra capital to spend. Second is we don't have a good stadium to hit in, and if you come play for San Francisco, your bat's going to die.
Yeah.
So you have to sacrifice a little bit of that unless you're that confident of a player, or you're signing a big deal that's like, I'm going to be here the rest of my career. It doesn't really matter. And I don't care about my numbers. I care about the dynamic and the team and the vibe. So we have to look for those players. And that means, we have a little extra homework to do when we're going to go out and try and find a guy who's eligible to be signed, or, plenty of guys. Jake, I don't know how many times we had a guy come over in a trade, like a Carlos Beltran, and be super stoked to come over there. And it seems like they enjoy playing for the Giants. You'd never see him the next season because they're always like, I'm going to go play for the next team where I can go get my 30 jacks a year and guarantee I prolong my career as long as possible.
Chris Bryant, same thing.
Yeah, guys just don't want to stay in San Francisco unless they're somehow connected to the city in some way, like they were drafted or what have you, or they're a pitcher, obviously.
That makes me not that upset at Willie Adames for struggling in the first half. He seems like a real salt-of-the-earth kind of home team guy who's all about energy and just kind of making something happen on a different level and not look out just for his own stats.
It's the reason why we get all these old players coming in at the tail end of their careers coming to San Francisco, because it'd be fun to play in San Francisco and hang out in that city and make some decent dollars and know that my performance isn't going to carry into my next contract because I don't care. Pat Burrell and Aubrey Huff, who I'm wearing, and there's a lot of players we could make a long list of the top
Andres Galarraga
finish their careers.
Aaron Davis.
Yep. I mean, it's long.
Yeah, true.
Well, I think the style of baseball that Manfred and the higher ups want is more balls in play, and I feel like that's the kind of baseball that the Giants have really succeeded in in the 2010s. And if they can kind of get more of those Pence and Panda types to kind of just keep that ball in play, don't strike out, maybe like an Arias got, what's his name, the first baseman for the Padres, who just has a magic wand. He doesn't miss the ball. Some of those kind of guys, I feel like, are the winning strategy. Pitching, defense, example, and guys that don't strike out, put the ball in play.
Yeah. Guys who slap the ball all over the field, you can't put them in
gap
a
to
shift.
gap is where hitters thrive, I think.
Right.
Yeah, Hunter came over in a trade, I believe, right, Jake? And then he decided to stay, which was like, really? He wants to stay? Or it was like, oh my God, I'm so excited because he's in the middle of his career and he could easily just go back to Texas.
He came in 2012 and provided such a spark. That was the year Melky got suspended for the year from steroids, and he was like our stud first half. Then Hunter Pence comes over. I believe after that suspension, they needed to do something to pick up the team. And did he fit in perfectly. He got, put the city on his back. He came up with, he would do pep talks to the whole crowd before and after games. It was crazy. And now he's a staple in the city. He lives here.
Yeah.
Oh.
I forgot about the Milkman. That was a phenomenon for a year or so.
It was less than a year, dude. He made the All-Star team. I remember he was
the MVP of the All-Star game.
Yeah, he might have been leading the league in average at that point.
Yeah, he was hitting 370 or something absurd.
Something nuts. I was into him, man. He was money. And then out of nowhere, I checked my phone one, summer afternoon, and Melky Cabrera, 50-game ban for steroid use. I'm like, oh, fuck. So, yeah, he actually had a chance to come back, and the rumor is Buster said no, he didn't want him. It was Buster's call. So, and they won the World Series. So
Buster's still making the calls, and
Buster calls some good shots.
I think he might want to make a move.
Right.
I think maybe he needs a first baseman. What say you guys?
Dom Smith, baby. That's all you need.
I think he's never hit more than 12 home runs in his career, but he had a hell of a day today. I'll give credit where credit's due.
Stud.
Stay hot.
Stay hot, Dom.
Stay hot through the Dodger series, and then I could care less.
No, if you check Dom's 2020,
I showed you this today. He got MVP votes.
He hit over 300. He was up there towards the leaders in home runs. It was the strike shortened season. He was balling. So let's get that Dom this year.
All right, so that was a stay pat. No need to upgrade on any position players here.
None. No need whatsoever.
Well, I think you guys need a first baseman. I got to tell you.
I think first base, right field,
or there's guys out there. Two people I was reading about today was Ryan O'Hearn, first baseman for the
I was reading about too for
the poorly terrible record Baltimore Orioles, and then I got Josh Naylor. He's on the Diamondbacks. We'll see if they stay contenders. I can't see them being too big of sellers yet, but
yeah, and also in division is out usually there. Rare.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Let's not. We got time. Trade deadline.
I mean, maybe Gerard Encarnacion will start heating up.
Boy, did you see that play he made? Was it yesterday?
Yeah, he just couldn't catch the ball from second base.
Couldn't catch a routine throw from Fitzgerald, and then
that was one of those errors that I was talking about.
To the wrong base or something. It was brutal. It looked like a little leaguer. Not good.
All right, so should we move on to our draft of the week?
Yeah. Sure, we can do that. Or, I mean, do you guys have any predictions for... Should we touch on the finals at all? Have you guys been paying attention?
Pace is up 2-1 as of today.
Right.
Halliburton is solid. He's been doing all the right things. Whether you love him or you hate him.
I like me some TJ McConnell. Did you see him?
TJ McConnell hit a big halftime shot to kind of get some momentum. Miles Turner's been blocking.
Pascal Siakam is really... When you have a guy like that that you get via trade, that'll help.
These
I would have loved
2025 Pacers kind of remind me of the 2005 Detroit Pistons. I mean, Halliburton would be kind of the all-star-esque kind of guy, but they're a bunch of just good players that play well together, well coached.
I think Halliburton's his own guy. He doesn't remind me of anybody on that team,
Billups,
honestly.
No.
But stylistically, I like Joe's.
But there's no Ben Wallace or Billups, so maybe it's not a great comparison, Joe.
Well, more so that
is there a Rashid?
A Miles
Turner? There's just no star on that team, on that Detroit team. You had Tayshaun Prince, Ben Wallace, Rashid Wallace. Yeah,
Rip was the closest to a star.
Yeah. No, yeah, I like it. I mean, like a kind of a working class kind of squad, blue collar squad. Sure.
I just like the idea that OKC is going to get that smug, like we love each other. We all stand behind each other during interviews, and it's just like, give me a fucking break. It's so
they're getting too big for their britches before they win.
Not into it. It feels very contrived.
I just wish I bet the series, dude. The odds were insane.
They were insane. It was like 6 or 7 to 1.
750 to 1, or plus 750.
Felt really bad. I'm very surprised it was that. But hey, listen, OKC was down 2-1 to Denver and won that series. So
no, they can still win, sure, but just the value of this was
totally
insane.
What's it at right now?
Probably
they're still
not what it was.
Favored. Yeah, no.
Crazy.
I bet it will be though if OKC wins the next game. I bet it'll jump right back up close to that.
Well, OKC will be heavily favored if they tie the series, but it won't be 750 to 1.
Nah, it'd probably be like 3.
Well, you guys got me all frothy. I'm biting at the bit to hate the Dodgers now. So,
all right.
I got my picks ready to go.
Okay. That's such a wide open array of people. I have no one. I have kind of a lot of equal hate for a lot of guys over the years, but sure, there's a few. Okay, so Joe, you want to introduce this? This is your idea.
Yeah, so today's draft is Dodger hate, the 5 most hated Dodgers. We're going to do a little draft like we normally do.
All those Giants daddies out there. Father's Day is coming up.
And welcome all the new daddy lovers. We are so happy to have you in Daddy Nation. So we're going to do a daddy draft for you daddy do's, but don't do any daddy don'ts or daddy won'ts. Start it off, Daddy Joe.
All right, well, truth be told, I grew up an A's fan, and my first team that I ever loved was the 1988 Oakland Athletics. I was 5 years old. I was going to all the games, not all the games, but I remember a few of them. I was wearing all the wristbands and all the gear, and I don't even remember any of the games, but I was loving it. Then the Dodgers just beat us out of nowhere. We thought we were invincible. Jose Canseco, Mark McGwire, the whole thing. And so number one on my list would be, you know who, Kurt Gibson. You can suck it.
Yeah, that was strange. I remember being very young for that series and hating both squads. That was in my very early days. I was just paying attention to what my brother and my dad were rooting for. So
yeah, that was the beginning of my baseball fandom was '88. So
all right,
do we want to start on the earlier side, or are we going any decade? All right. Well, this one always stuck with me, and I just don't know why. But forever, when I was watching or listening to Giants games, oftentimes when I was listening, this pitcher would come out, starting pitcher, and he would just wipe the Giants clean. He'd come at all different arm angles, just nasty movement. I think he threw a no-hitter against the Giants at one point, or very close. It was regularly shut out or just knocking the Giants down. It always seemed like we could beat any other pitcher. But as soon as Kevin Brown took the mound, he seemed like he made my life miserable. I couldn't stand Kevin Brown. But when he left, I think he pitched for the Padres for a little bit towards the end of his career. I liked him, just not in that fucking Dodger blue.
I love it. Okay, I'll go with one of my favorite players ever. Might have been a little racist, but he definitely hated this guy. I don't know if he was too showboaty for him. So guess who Mad Bum hated more than anyone on earth? Pig Boy, Yasiel.
Pig Boy.
Fuck you, Yasiel Puig. You're playing in Korea or Mexico or something now, so enjoy that.
Piece of
showboat,
shit.
Flashy piece of shit. Yasiel Puig.
It's almost better than picking your favorite Giants.
Get my hatred out there.
I need to get on a couch. I need to get on a couch and do this one.
All right.
Yeah. Mad Bum, I'll miss you. I'll miss you, Mad Bum.
All right, I'm going to pick the color commentator dork that got the MVP of the 1988 World Series. He also went 3 for 3 with 2 doubles somehow. That piece of shit, Oral Hershiser.
Oh, good one.
Oral Giants opening day starter in some point in the mid-90s.
Yeah.
But good one.
Odd how many times Giants, and we'll have to do another top 10 on Giants, Dodgers converts. The guys who came and who they played best for.
I'm a specialty in, I'm a black belt in that subject because I always followed Giants who went to Dodgers, and a lot of them sucked on the Dodgers, and that is the best gift of all.
Yep. Well, I mean, I'm going to have to pick a guy. I didn't hate him a lot. I was more just extremely jealous of the fact that we didn't have him. Catcher Mike Piazza.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, his work on the Dodgers, the amount of times that he came up and just would knock the ball all over the place on the Giants was super frustrating, especially in the 90s when we had Bonds and they had Piazza, and you wanted to believe that we were going to be that, that was going to be our year, and Piazza and those Dodgers just got us more often than we got.
I feel like Piazza also kind of like epitomized that like glamour boy look that you kind of hate at the Dodgers, being like, Hollywood piece of shit.
Definitely had a little of that Hollywood feel for sure.
Did I send you guys that Baywatch clip where he's taking cuts in his jersey?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I never really hated Piazza, like you said. He was such a stud. Like, the guy hit.
You kind of appreciated his talent, but you just couldn't stand he was in Dodger blue.
Yeah, and the mullet was a bit fluffy mullet and fluffy mustache. It was a bit much. Okay, I'll go more modern, I guess. Yasiel was kind of modern, but I'll go even more modern. He's still on him. Max Muncy, you ugly piece of shit. I hate your guts. I hate watching you play. You also tried to fucking talk shit to Mad Bum. Mad Bum don't play that. But Max Muncy, go F yourself, fat ass. Next.
That was on my list too, because Max Muncy, before he played for the Dodgers, played for the A's, and he was horrible. He played second base, this overweight second baseman that swung a wet newspaper. He couldn't hit it out of the infield. Somehow he goes to the Dodgers and starts parking them. It was very annoying. Don't like Max Muncy.
He's a Farhan guy. Farhan got him on the A's and then got him on the Dodgers, and then he became a giant killer, and that's no fun.
Yeah, put him in the ocean there.
In the ocean.
Yeah.
Bay, dumbass. Lose a few. All right.
Well, I'm just going to stick with my squad here, the 88 Dodgers. Mike Scioscia, the catcher, hate that guy. He managed another team that I hated for a long time, the Angels.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of years not liking Mike Scioscia.
Great pick. I hated his face on both the Angels and the Dodgers. Good call.
Back when we played high school baseball, Jake, he heavily reminded me of Coach Nichols. They were like kind of twins. And they're like, there's kind of just always had like resting dick face.
Total asshole face,
yeah. Shout out, Coach Nick. Hope you're doing well, buddy.
Coach Nick.
All right.
Doherty Valley.
The next guy here, just his demeanor, he was like this big, chunky, nerdy-looking guy. He wasn't even that good. And then all of a sudden, he started punching in the PEDs, heavy doses, started ripping 102-mile-an-hour fastballs. Eric Gagne, you just ugly, shitty piece of crap. That's all I have. You're just a piece of crap who throws hard. You look like a swimmer who got out of the pool and decided to throw the baseball.
You like his goggles?
Fucking goggles.
He's a French Canadian too.
Even worse, almost. A cocky French Canadian? That's not right.
Yeah.
Well.
That is one of the best Bonds YouTube videos, is the Gagne Bonds one.
When Bonds took him yard, it was like one of the most satisfying home runs. So satisfying. Because Gagne got Bonds a few times, no doubt. But when Bonds got Gagne, it was that much more.
The silver lining on that one is that Gagne now is just such a Bond supporter. He showed up to his number retirement ceremony in the city and gives speeches about how great Barry Bonds was now. And he's like,
I think there's a lot of pitchers who do that. I mean,
yeah,
Jake Peavy's a huge fan.
Yeah, Gagne's a huge Bonds fan. I just read something today about him. How he likes, he says Shohei wouldn't be nearly as hard to get out as Barry Bonds was. So you got to love that. I'm sure Dodgers fans don't appreciate that. Okay. Let's go. My next one will be, God, there's so many, dude. Let's see. Okay. In the 2010 season, I believe it was, there's a guy playing left field, and I was out there with the bleacher creatures, and he was just a baller at the time. And he made a catch, I believe. I was right there, like towards the front of the left field ball. And I yelled at him, Chris Brown fucked your girlfriend first. That would be Matt Kemp, everybody.
That's right.
Yeah. So that he did not appreciate that. He was stared with the eyes of, hatred and vengeance, just stared a hole through me after that, but it was well worth it. So Matt Kemp, and then he ended up like saying all these positive things about the Giants later on in his career, which was really weird. So I don't hate him anymore, but boy, did I hate him at the time. Matt Kemp.
Good call.
All right. I'm not sure this one counts, but I'm doing it anyway. He's kind of he's a villain, but in like a cartoonish type of way. Love some lasagna. Good old Tommy Lasorda.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Nothing epitomizes the Dodgers quite like Tommy Lasorda and his yapping and bullshitting and running around talking nonsense. So that guy didn't know what he was doing. Tommy Lasorda.
Nonsense. He was a mean old son of a bitch, too. He would really say some cruel stuff to people. But anyway, good pick. I mean, I hear Kruk and Kite still talk shit about him all the time, even though he's in the grave.
Well, this is another one that I feel like is not necessarily the highest on most people's pick levels, but he always seemed to get a lot of clutch hits. Something about the way he talks shit from behind the plate. Paul LaDuca. I don't know. Paul LaDuca just rubbed me the wrong way. And I think it's always been, there's always a Dodgers catcher. And because they're with that unit, there's the camera's always on them. How many times they're
fucking... Yeah, Russ Martin was the same way.
Russ Martin, the guys they're always just celebrating extra. And it's just, I always see the catcher first. So fuck LaDuca.
I appreciate that pick. That's a great call. I didn't care for him either. Not one bit.
Not one bit.
Not one bit.
Jake, you're leaving somebody out. You need to pick them sooner than later.
I am?
Yeah. I mean, if you're going off your Madison Bumgarner, hatred or like how you're not, you're picking guys who were affected by Madison Bumgarner or who he didn't like. You got to pick the guy who's, in essence, his parallel on the Dodgers.
Oh no, I'm not doing that. I don't hate that guy.
Oh, okay, all right.
I mean, I don't like him, but he's less hateable than a lot of guys.
You're right. That's fair.
Who I do hate, however, like I said, so many. Okay, another fat boy. We had to run in with the Giants for a couple of years. And I tried to root for him. It was hard. And then the next year he was on the Diamondbacks. And I could go back to screaming at him from the stands. Got in his head again, too. He was like, what? I hit 20 jacks for you guys. And I was like, looks like you packed on some pounds, Jock, fat ass. So Jock Peterson.
The old Pearls, Jock Peterson.
Yeah, and Tommy Pham bitch slapped him apparently in the outfield before a game because he was trying to.
Best hitting performance I've ever seen at a Giants game was his 3 home run game.
True. After
he had a chance for 4 home runs,
but he got pulled by Kapler because it was a lefty on lefty matchup.
I did. Yeah, no, that was amazing, that game.
No, I used to hate Jock Peterson's guts on the Dodgers. He his face bothered me. His whole aura bothered me. Although he grew up as a Giants fan, apparently. There's a great story that he went up to Bonds his rookie year and tried to get his autograph and shit. And Bonds didn't even acknowledge him. So get the fuck away from me. You're a Dodger or something. So
turned into a Dodger at that moment. I love it.
Loved it.
I guess it's me.
And Jock Peterson this year, by the way, started the year hitting. He was 1 for 50 on whoever he's on now, the Rangers. Very odd. He might be out of the league now.
Is he 260?
Weight-wise, yeah, something like that.
I'm sure you guys won't say any of these people, but this is my last pick. But here's some of my, final thoughts. Andre Ethier, he was going to be an A, and then he went to the Dodgers and played many years.
Good call. Yeah, there's plenty of room for honorable mentions here.
Honorable mention, yeah. Steve Sachs, Jose Offerman, Raul Mondesi.
Yeah,
Raul Mondesi.
Didn't like any of those jerks.
Mondesi when he was a rookie.
But I remember this one Joker really stuck in my mind as a young kid losing that World Series. This fucker guy, Mickey Hatcher, this Joker dude. I'm sure you guys don't even know who he is, but he would just clown around. And then he got 2 home runs in the World Series. Who's this pinch hitting Joker? Mickey Hatcher. Still remember this guy.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, no reason other than that I would remember him.
I think I got to go with one more pitcher. There's a few that I could pick here, but this guy, I always just didn't understand why he was an all-star. He always seemed to lead the league in saves. ERA was always there, but every time I watched him, it was this guy is hittable, and I feel like we beat him a lot.
Giants got to him a lot, yeah.
We got to him a lot. Kenley Jansen, what a tall,
good call.
Carl Anthony Towns looking piece of crap.
We got to him a lot. He seemed so hittable to the Giants.
So soft.
You're in his head.
So soft. But he always seemed like
somehow he was considered the Mariano of the National League. I was like, give me a break.
I'd see him come in, his ERA, be like, why can't guys hit him? I was always excited whenever they brought Jansen. I was like, yes, Jansen time. Let's get this fucking piece of crap.
I almost picked him. That's a great pick. All right. Is this the last one?
Yeah.
Oh, man. There's Eric Karros. Hated his guts. Gavin Lux is a newer one who I just had such a punchable face. Very punchable face. You wanted to say Clayton.
What about Justin Turner?
Great.
He's kind of punchable.
You know who I really disliked? Kike Hernandez I really didn't like. He's back with them now. I don't know. How about you throw all those guys in a stew and you can pick for yourselves.
So, Kike Hernandez, Mr. Irrelevant.
There you go.
Cool. Another one who got to us and kind of feels the whole Japanese problem we've been having with the Dodgers lately, Hideo Nomo.
He fucked our
the
93
Giants
season up.
He got us a lot. He was very complicated to hit because of that long, slow delivery.
You know who I really didn't like, but then did like once he became a Giant was Steve Finley. He was a Giant killer, especially he wasn't on the Dodgers for long. Yeah, on the Dodgers, he ended our season in. I was at the game at Dodger Stadium in like 2004. It was going into the last series of the season, and we were in a first place battle with the Dodgers. He had a walk-off triple, and Dodgers fans, I was there with my brother, and they were just heckling the living shit out of us. It was one of the worst memories of my life. Yeah.
Steve Finley was extremely good. I mean, the amount of times that guy came up with clutch hits against the Giants or for the Giants was incredible. I loved his game. It's hard to hate him, but I get why you would when he did it to us.
Yeah. I want to say he was only on the Giants for what, a year or two? Maybe? I don't know. One year I think he has the all-time Giants record for triples in a season.
Really?
Yeah, he definitely had double-digit triples one year. And there's Jeff Kent. I hated his guts on the Dodgers too. Couldn't stand. He felt like such a Judas, man. It was horrible to watch.
It was really difficult to watch Jeff Kent put a Dodger jersey on.
And he would beat the Giants a lot too.
It's kind of felt similar to the way Brett Butler did it too. But
Brett Butler, yeah, I was too young.
I was a little too young to really feel it as much. But when Brett Butler's your '89 World Series center fielder, and then he goes to the Dodgers, you're like, well, what, dude? Why the fuck did you go to the Dodgers? Why pick any other team next season?
Right. But yeah, let's we can get into the ones that sucked on the Dodgers. And that's more fun because they remain great Giants. It felt like they were plants, like they were operatives. That was a much better feeling than watching Jeff Kent hit like 280 with 95 RBIs for the Dodgers.
All right.
Yeah.
Well played. Loved it.
Yeah, good topic, Joe. I like this draft. And hopefully
hopefully it works for this weekend, guys.
Yeah, all the daddies out there, let's chime in with your most hated Dodgers. There's a lot of them out there. And hopefully we can cut up some of these clips to give you some video feed.
Oh, yeah.
Scintillate your Ojos, okay?
Yeah, check us out. What is it, Dave? Hum Daddies, everything?
At Hum Daddy is on Instagram.
Instagram is the main one right now, let's just be honest.
XEX. Maybe we'll see a few extra YouTube highlights coming up here shortly, but yeah, maybe Hum Daddies.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll catch you on the next Hum Daddy.
Daddy-daddy-doo.
However, the regular season alone has provided more than enough storytelling and spite to create an enduring rivalry.
Now we have some problems with some fans in the stands by the dugout.
On August 22, 1965, the baseball world bore witness to the ugliest incident between the franchises, when Giants ace Juan Marichal hit Dodgers catcher John Roseboro with a baseball bat. While the late Joe Morgan is in the Hall of Fame for his heroics in Cincinnati, he's known in this rivalry for a 3-run shot on the final day of the '82 season to eliminate LA from playoff contention. The date? October 3rd, yet again. A decade later, in 1993, it was the Dodgers who relished the role of spoiler, routing the Giants 12-1 on the final day of the season and pushing them out of the playoffs in spite of 103 wins, still the most victories by any team to miss the playoffs in the divisional era.
This incredible, unfathomable ride is over after nothing but disbelief and shock.
September 18th, 1997. The signature swing that helped the Giants win the division by 2 games over the Dodgers came off the unlikely bat of Brian Johnson in the 12th inning at Candlestick.
And he hits one high to deep left field and deep. Collinsworth is back at the wall. It is out of here, and this one is over.
On the penultimate day of the '04 season, the Giants were 3 outs away from pulling to within 1 game of the division lead. Instead, the Dodgers scored 7 times in the 9th.
High fly ball to deep right field. Wherever it goes, the Dodgers have won, and it's a grand slam home run. And in all the storied history and glory, frustrations and heartbreak that both of these teams have inflicted upon the other, this one had to be a killer.